All right, probably the hottest story heading into the NBA draft continues to get hotter as the 5th overall pick, Ace Bailey, seems to continue a standoff with the Utah Jazz, who selected him, like I said, 5th overall. But this situation keeps getting more bizarre. It was already bizarre heading into the draft, and it looks like, I got a feeling that Ace Bailey could be one of the biggest draft busts in NBA history before he even steps on the court. We are entering an era where these kids now are coming in insanely entitled, prepaid millionaires, and it's gonna backfire drastically on this poor young man. And I don't think he has the best people in his camp looking out for him, because it's a crazy story out there. So this story started to bubble up as we moved into draft week. You know, the NBA draft, shout out, having it like 48 hours after we have a game 7 of the NBA finals, so nobody could even breathe here. But Ace Bailey, considered the 3rd overall prospect in this draft for much of the year, behind teammate Dylan Harper and obviously number 1 overall pick Cooper Flagg. But Bailey refused to work out, and the rumors started swirling with any of the teams in the top 5, i.e. the Philadelphia 76ers. He canceled his planned workout with them, wasn't going to work out with the Hornets, and definitely didn't want to work out with the Utah Jazz. And this seemed to be an entire approach by not Bailey's agency or Bailey himself, but Bailey's manager, Omar Cooper. Now, who is Omar Cooper? We're going to get into that. But Bailey didn't want to go to any of the teams in the top 5 and thought he could kind of smooth his way or maneuver his way into a team preferred destination like the Washington Wizards, like the New Orleans Pelicans, or the Brooklyn Nets. But you say, Peter, why would anybody want to go play for those teams? Well, it seems like Bailey doesn't really give a shit about where he goes, except for the fact that he wants to be the guy on the team right away to start, to put up numbers, to get himself to that second contract. It's not about the first contract where he's going to lose some money on the front end if he's going to boycott the 3rd, 4th, 5th pick. He wants to have the ability to get that second contract in the league, which isn't the worst strategy in the world. But for a guy like Bailey, who felt like he had a little bit of an underwhelming season at Rutgers, I mean, Rutgers had the 2nd and 3rd overall picks or prospects in this draft, and they were awful. This was a dreadful Rutgers team. Bailey was kind of okay, gave you 17 and 7 on 46 and 34% shooting for 3. But nothing blew you away. Played 30 games, 33 minutes a game. Nothing crazy. And Dylan Harper was his teammate. I don't know how that Rutgers team was so bad. Maybe a little bit shorter than people thought he was going to be as well. But there was all sorts of rumors, all sorts of buzz. And you could see it on his face that Utah was a place where Bailey did not want to go. It was very clear. He probably didn't want to go to the Sixers, and he definitely didn't want to go to the Jazz at 5. So the Sixers pass on him after doing all that work, scheduling the workout, getting the accommodations, all that stuff set up, and he just cancels. You know what? Guys have set a precedent where they don't want to necessarily work out for teams. That's fine. You don't have to work out for teams. I'm not going to say that. But when you go through and schedule the workout, you're going to work out for a team, and then you cancel it on them, that's a lot of work behind the scenes by a lot of people that you're kind of just screwing over, and it's a dick move. Bailey was clearly not going to get drafted 1st or 2nd. So the Sixers were really the first team on the clock that could have drafted him. So doing all that work and then canceling on them, dick move. And you can see Bailey ain't happy. Look at this. I've never seen a person more mad. This is like Steve Francis levels of upset when he got drafted by the Vancouver Grizzlies. Like, he looks so miserable. Adam Silver's goofy ass over here smiling with him. He is not happy. But I don't know if this is all of Bailey's fault. There's a lot of rumors swirling around that Bailey will not be showing up to the Jazz. He is not reported to the Jazz yet. They have not showed up in Utah, where Walter Clayton Jr., the other draft pick by the Jazz, showed up already. But I don't know if this is Bailey's fault. I think Bailey has a really, really toxic person running his show, and that would be this man, Omar Cooper. Who is Omar Cooper? This is Omar Cooper, Bailey's management team. Cooper, not officially an agent, so Bailey does technically have an NBA agent who is representing him, and his agency kind of feels like they're in a spiral that they are beholden to this man, Omar Cooper. I mean, we could just check it out. Does this guy look like a guy who should be running the business side for a young NBA draft guy? Does he look like what he knows what he's doing? Not great. Not to mention Cooper has a long criminal history but it is from a while ago, so I'm not going to hold that against him, but it is a little suspect. But Cooper was the former Auburn basketball player Sharif Cooper's father, and Sharif was projected to be a first-round pick, but then teams had to deal with his dad going into that draft process. He ended up being drafted 48th overall by the Atlanta Hawks, and he now plays overseas. So it seemed like he already tanked his son's career and now has gotten a hold of young Ace Bailey and has started it off on a horrendous foot. He seems to be holding everybody hostage. That was what all the pre-draft buzz was about, that this guy is his representation, but not officially his representation because he's not certified by the NBA. He's just some management guy, but he is calling all the shots and he is controlling everything. And the teams are emphatically against this man and do not like any of the way he is handling his business. He is not handling it like a professional. Now, he claims this is all normal stuff. You know, we did the combine, we did this, we did that. But I'm going to trust the 30 NBA teams when they're saying that this is something else. This is something different, something we haven't really dealt with before, and it is tanking the future prospects of this young man. And you hate to see it. I mean, Bailey is still a kid. He's 19 years old. This is a young man. He's got bad people in his corner. Now, it's hopeful that they can maybe separate these two. He is not officially an agent. Maybe the NBA can do something, work his way out of there. But the agency for Bailey is really trying to pour water on the situation. They're saying he's ecstatic that he got drafted by Utah. He got drafted in the top 5. He plans to report on Monday, allegedly, for the start of Summer League training camp. But that's the next biggest date. There are lots of rumors swirling around that Bailey is gonna hold out. He's gonna demand a trade. He did not want to go to the Jazz and will not play for the Jazz. But Danny Ainge knew this, and he doesn't seem to give a shit. That's a very Danny Ainge move in Utah. You don't want to come to me? I don't care. We don't negotiate with terrorists. He drafted Bailey because Bailey clearly has all the talent in the world. There is a very high upside for Ace Bailey. If Ace Bailey reaches his pinnacles, he could be an elite level player in the NBA. But is the risk worth it? We have entered the age where, like I said, these young players come into the league already making millions of dollars thanks to NIL, which they should. You know what? If they can't come straight out of high school, they got to go to college, make their money. That's fine. Now, do I wish we got a little bit more seasoning in college now? Yes, I think they should go back. If the NBA is not going to do the high school route anymore, no more one and dones. 2 years. You got to go to college to 2 years. You got to grow. You got to separate. Get into actually a college program. College programs, man, great coaching out there. Help develop. Move out on your own. Become an adult. Experience these things. I think that's a massive help. You know, I get it. You're playing professional basketball. You get into the NBA, but these are just kids. And you know how you get better at basketball is by playing basketball. They don't really practice in the NBA. What is the development table for a guy who's not really a rotational player on a good NBA team, but needs to get more reps, is 18, 19 years old, fresh out of college? It's kind of weird. Like, Cooper Flag's in a weird situation. Now, Cooper Flag is probably going to play a lot. The Mavs are kind of weird, but this was a deep and good team prior to the Kyrie Irving injury. Even after trading Luka Doncic, it would have been like, what's Cooper Flag's fit in this rotation? Is he going to get minutes? Cooper Flag was the youngest player in this draft. He's like the youngest player since LeBron to get drafted number 1 overall. He reclassified. He's only 18 years old, Flag. He's turning 19 in November, I believe. So he's just a baby, and we're gotten to this era of these kids who don't just like basketball. Like, basketball used to be about guys who love the game. The money was good, you know, in the 90s, early 2000s, but most of these dudes loved the game. They had that dog in them. They wanted to win. They wanted to compete. It doesn't strike me like that. Bailey feels like this new crop of guys where, I mean, they're just all emotional. I've never seen more crying at the NBA draft than I saw this draft. Everybody was crying. Like, Jesus, guys, get it together. Like, I don't want to shit on a guy because it's your moment, you work hard, but fuck, guys, come on. Show some toughness. You, like, be excited. You got drafted. Now, guys like Malawach, who got drafted by the Rockets, even though he's going to the Suns, you know, grew up in, like, from South Sudan or Uganda or wherever, like, yeah, I get that shit. But guys who, you know, had it nice growing up or chilling, like, I don't know what that guy from Yale was doing, the Michigan guy, the big guy, his whole family's freaking out. Like, I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, I don't know if these guys like basketball. I think they just give a shit about the money. I don't think they like to play. See ya, Ben Simmons. He's really talented, really good at basketball. He don't love basketball. He's just there to collect a check. And that's what's killing me about today's NBA. There are not enough dudes out there who just give a shit, who want to win, who want to compete. They want to make money. They're tall. They're athletic. And this is their meal ticket. Like, that's such a terrible place to find ourselves in the sporting world. You want to have guys everywhere that want to kill themselves. As AI said, practice for the game I kill myself for. We talking about practice. Getting upset about a guy who goes out there night after night to kill himself. We're in the load management era where nobody does anything. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody plays games. We're just in a terrible spot for NBA basketball. And I think this is ultimately summarized. The epitome of this is a kid like Ace Bailey, who hasn't played a goddamn minute in the NBA at all, and he's already dictating exactly where he wants to go when he's not the top prospect in the draft. He's pulling more than Eli Manning. I'm saying 5 teams I won't go to in the top 5. I need to go to 3 teams in the back end because I need to be the guy. I need to be the star. So this is a burning situation. I'm making my prediction now. Ace Bailey, either one of the biggest draft busts. It's hard to beat Anthony Bennett as the biggest draft bust in NBA history, but this guy's going to be a complete and total bust, or he's going to be the best player in this draft class. Like, that's it. There are no in-betweens with this so far, unless there's a complete 180. They get rid of all these nonsense guys behind the scenes, and they can get them figured out. I mean, Utah's a nice place, man. Great weather. Maybe not ideal in January, but they got the mountains. They're changing a lot of those bullshit laws about alcohol and party and stuff. Salt Lake City's nice, man. I don't have a lot of NBA players who play for the Jazz coming out and bitching about how it was awful to play in Utah. Give it a shot, Bailey. Get rid of this weirdo who's running your management team. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is this a trend we're going to see continue in the NBA? Is this a good move by Ace Bailey? Do you agree with it? Or is this a selfish, bratty move and a terrible look to start your career? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We got daily sports content for you guys. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You get all sorts of access to cool and exclusive perks. Help support me, allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day. Again, like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.